Hello students, today we're going to talk about the distributive property, and we need to use the distributive property in solving two-step equations, which is what we have been doing, but we're going to throw something else in there with the distributive property. The distributive property is a property in math that says when I have A times the quantity of B plus C, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute that A to everything inside the parentheses. So it's multiplication, so I do A times B plus, and then I multiply A times C. So I do A times B plus A times C. Once again, I'm taking this A and distributing it to everything inside the parentheses. Now let's look at it with some real number situations. So let's say I have 3 times the quantity of x plus 7. Okay? So I can't add x and 7 together because 7 doesn't have a variable x. The only way I could add x to anything is if it had an x in it. So I can't say x plus 7 is 7x. That's wrong. What I'm going to do now is distribute the 3 to the x and to the 7, so with multiplication. So I'm going to do 3 times x, which is just 3x. And then I'm going to do 3 times 7, which is 21. And since it's positive 21, I put a plus sign between them. So once again, I take that 3 and multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. Well, what happens if we have a negative number on the outside of the parentheses and we have x minus 3? So we have negative 7 times the quantity of x minus 3. So I've got to take that negative 7 and multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So first I'm going to do negative 7 times x, and that's just negative 7x. And then I'm going to do negative 7 times negative 3, and negative times negative is positive, so that's going to be plus 21. Again, because negative 7 times negative 3 is positive 21, my solution would be negative 7x plus 21. Well, let's do another one really quickly with a negative. Let's do negative 4 times the quantity of negative r plus 3. Again, negative 4 times the quantity of negative r plus 3. So we would first of all multiply negative 4 times negative r. Well, negative times negative is positive, so that's just 4r. And then negative 4 times positive 3 is negative 12. So my solution is 4r minus 12, because negative times negative gives me positive, and then negative times positive gives me a negative. Well, now let's apply the distributive property to solving an equation. So here I have negative 2 times the quantity of m minus 3 equals 8. And I've got to figure out what m equals. Well, the first thing that I have to do is the distributive property, so we can get rid of those parentheses. So I'm going to multiply the negative 2 times the m, and that gives me negative 2m. And then I multiply the negative 2 times the negative 3, and that gives me positive 6 equals 8. And now I'm going to solve this two-step equation just like I have been. And the first thing I have to do is subtract 6 from both sides, because I'm trying to isolate my variable. Those cancel, and I'm left with 0, and I'm left with 8 minus 6 is 2. So negative 2m is equal to 2. And now I divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 2. Sorry, I forgot to spin that. So that cancels out to equal 1m equals negative 1. So my solution to this equation is m equals negative 1. Let's plug that back in and make sure. If m is negative 1, then I say negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4, and I take that negative 4 and I multiply it by negative 2, and I get positive 8. So m actually does equal negative 1. Let's try one more sample problem together, and let's say I have 4 times the quantity of 2r minus 7 equals 9. And so let's see what happens. So first of all, I have to do the distributive property, and I know that 4 times 2r would be 8r, and 4 times negative 7 is negative 28 equals 9. And now I'm going to solve it just like I solved the two-step equation. First, I'm going to add 28 to both sides. And I have 8r equals 9 plus 28, which is 37. And so what do I have to do now? Divide by 8. Divide by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so I'm left with r equals 37 divided by 8. 8 does not go in evenly, so I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction, because I can. So I'm just going to leave it as 37 over 8. If you wanted to use your calculator to calculate that, then you would get 4 and 5/8, which would be 4.625 if you wanted to use your calculator. But it's okay to leave it as 3708 if you want to. So here are the practice problems that I'd like for you to do before you come to class on Monday, and that is A, the first one is -2 times the quantity of r plus 4 equals 12, and then the second one is B, 3 times the quantity of m minus 5 equals 6. So please do these problems in your composition book. Take a picture of your work. I want to see your work. Take a picture and turn it in using the turn in button in Edmodo, and make sure you turn them in before class on Monday.